Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, the honorable judges, respecting opponent, and the ladies and gentlemen that watch this video. Let me introduce myself. I am ABI-UMMI as the first speaker in the preparation team. In this era, which the recovery have found easier like a motorcycle, car, plane, ship. But the thing is use resource. We can significantly use resource, or we can call with critical resource such as oil, natural gas, or renewable resource such as wine, water, or another. This resource has to cover well because it has correlation with the human resource. In other country, the resource is not in hand of the government, but is in the hand of some agency. Before we move further, let me to tell the definition of the motion. By critical resource. Critical resources are resources that need to fulfill the human survival and have significant effect to human life. An international material agency is a soluble organization that will act as a global organization with the goal to manage critical resources in order to reduce risk or shortage and trade conflict and encourage more sustainable and responsible ways of using and extracting resources. We from government team firmly agree with that motion. And me as a first speaker will tell about why critical resources have to government well, the effect and factor of their for the resource and the conclusion. Why critical resource have to govern it well? Because critical resource has a big impact for human life. Every day we see the car on the road that can move by fulfilled oil in the engine, and the renewable resource that produce electricity like water movement that make turbine move. We need critical resource, not just acceptable but essential. If this critical resource haven't covered well, the human circle life will be slowly, or in other side can be faster, give long-term effect to the future. If we analyze, we have 500 watts electricity that we set for 1 month. But we can manage or cover it well, and it's enough. And it's not enough for 1 month. You just spend 2 weeks. You make the monthly budget increase from the estimate. Same as with critical resource. The less we can cover or manage, the more money we needed. But who is determined that the critical resource is still enough? Our argument is, first, the international government have global policy that is a result from discuss with another country. Global policy is concluded by the discussion of many countries, so the policy is considered looking by the country needs and protection for big global exploitation that can harm the earth and sustainable circle life of human. Second, the international government has more adaptable and ready to cover the international material resource. Our country has many critical resources, and the government not just focus on critical resource, but the government focus on society. So, if the critical resource are governed by international material agencies that focus in developing critical resource, so the government can focus in developing society. Make the law better, but the critical resource still developing by the international material agency. 3. Decrease the conflict between other countries. Critical resource is human needed to survive in the world, but all the countries have different resources, but has the same topic. With the increased number of human, the critical resource more needed, but often the country is not ready and didn't have the critical resource that enough, and its effect to make the conflict to another country. In the conclusion, we didn't mean that the critical resource is totally given to some agency which is not the country or government agency. We are open the coordination and sustainability development critical resource. We make the critical resource effectively can use by the society, but not make the long-term effect to our future nation. If this motion can implement with good liquidity net, so the future of Indonesia with the sustainability development is not just a dream, it's coming true. Me as the first speaker is enough for me. Thank you.